But y'all, let's move on to this last topic of the day. Man. Only better news that can come out of this is that we all hit the lottery, because that's what it feels like. And we got to give it up to your boy Elliot with Movie Files that's on the panel today. He came through in the clutch last week with, again, the best news in the world. Oh my
He really
gosh.
did. He hit last minute.
Man. I am so happy. But y'all already heard it. It happened last Sunday. We kind of just ran over a few things, but now we got a lot more details. Last topic of the day coming from Variety. Disney shake up. Bob Iger is back as Disney CEO. Bob Chapek is out of there. He is fired. He is done. He is over. Board cites complex industry transformation for shocking sweet suit shuffle.
Yes. Crush is back.
Yes. If I wouldn't get no YouTube copyright, I would be playing Celebrate. Come on. Time to celebrate. Yes, I am so happy about this, y'all. I'm so happy. He is
Can
back.
we get one more bar?
Man. No, like, this is amazing. This is updated with Bob Iger's full memo. And he's not, Bob Chapek is not the only one leaving. But we're gonna talk about it. But we thank Bob Chapek for his service to Disney over his long career, including navigating the company through the unprecedented challenges of the pandemic, says Susan Arnold, chairman of Disney's board of directors. The board has concluded that as Disney embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely suited to lead the company through this pivotal period. The news came as a shocker. I was going to read that, but we already know what happened because it happened a week ago. But what I find hilarious is Bob, like, have y'all heard the behind the scenes of like how this happened? I heard a rumor that Kevin Feige, the head of Pixar, and like the head of Disney Marvel, not Disney Marvel, but like Disney proper, like Star Wars and all that, they came together, had a little meeting, or had a little powwow. And then went over to the board and went to Susan Arnold and was like, look, we can't do this under Bob Chapek. If he continues this reign of idiocy, we walk him. Kind of like what part 2 of what Feige did with at the beginning of phase 3 with Pearl Motor. Yeah. So this is amazing, man. Not only is like Bob Chapek is gone, but also Bob Chapek of our shifting budgets to disguise Disney Plus massive monetary loss. What the hell is this? Before I go on, Larry, this news has been floating around for about a week now. But what do you make of it, bro? Like, how what's going on? Where y'all go? What y'all go? What happened? Oh, what do you think about all this, man? This news that Bob Chapek is gone and Bob Iger is back.
I always have reservations when they bring back somebody old, because it really depends on why they left. Like, if he was pushed out and then they realize they made a mistake and they bring him back, fine. They should probably be ready for some retribution if that's the case. But if he left because he was done, he did his time and he was like, I'm done, and now they bring him back, it always worries me, like, how long is he going to be there? You know, if he was done before, he's probably done now. He's going to come in with a little bit of renewed energy, and then that's going to wane pretty quickly once he gets back into the grind of stuff. So I'm wondering how long he's going to stick around for. I don't like the fact that there was budgets being shifted around to mass losses. I think that's, as a stockholder, that bothers me. And if that's what happened, he deserves to have been ousted. Chapek deserves to have been ousted. I'll be honest with you. I really, really hope that is not the case, or it's not as severe as far as the Disney Plus thing, because I really want Disney Plus to really be able to take off. I want them to find a real good working model that they can allow the same profit levels that the theaters are giving them to be able to reach that with streaming. And right now, it doesn't seem like anyone's figured that out, but there's some great minds out there. I think someone's going to crack that nut eventually. And when they do, it's going to be wonderful for all of us people that want to stay home and watch our movies instead of having to go to a crowded theater. I like theaters, but I would also like to stay at home.
I got you. So, Elliot, what do you make about all this, man? I have not heard from you yet. And I am
Yeah.
eager to hear what you have to say, sir.
Yeah. A couple things. So, Larry, to answer your question, as far as like how long Bob Iger is going to be in this position, they did say it's a 2-year contract so far. So, which to me doesn't sound like a lot of time to kind of fix some of Chapek's.
It sounds like a transitional period.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gathering that they and I think they pretty much said so much so in the article that he's pretty much preparing for the next CEO, that he's going to pretty much get the next person in line and do a much better job than what he did with Chapek and kind of letting him take control. So it is a 2-year timeline, which to me, like I said, doesn't sound like a lot to fix everything that's going on, but more so just to make sure that the next person in charge is here for the long haul and they have the proper tools to their disposal to make sure that this company thrives as we know it to be. So I'm going to play a little bit of a devil's advocate, though, because, of course, we're all happy that Iger's back. He's obviously, well, not obviously, but a lot of people in that position, he's said to be one of the best CEOs that have seen of a company of the stature. So, and we all know that from the signing of the Star Wars acquisition and everything that he did with the Fox deal. I mean, he brought in a lot of money for that time. But to be fair, Bob Chapek wasn't given the best hand to be dealt with because, as Brandon brought up, he was the CEO during probably the most difficult time of any CEO, which was running a company during the pandemic, which is not an easy position to be in. And I don't even know how Bob Iger would have handled maybe bringing in Disney Plus and bringing in the pandemic and how to handle all that stuff. I don't know if he would have been necessarily the best CEO to handle that job. So, to be fair, it was a hard a task to take on, but and also too, to be fair about Bob Iger, who is a great CEO, but he's made some bad decisions in his past too. And if we're looking at a creative position, I mean, it was under Iger's control when we got all those Disney reboots. They were remaking all the Disney animated films and making them into live action, which to me was just kind of a silly decision. They made money, but creatively speaking, it's just like, can we make something original? And I'll be honest with you all, I'm a big Pixar fan, and a lot of Iger's decision to make sequels and Cars 3 and Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4. It's like, where is the originality that I love from Disney and Pixar? And also the big elephant in the room is the way of the lack of creativity with the Star Wars handling. I thought that Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy, the way they're handling the Star Wars franchise has been terrible, if I'm being honest with you all. So we're excited for Iger to be back, but, like some play a little devil's advocate. He's not perfect. He's not going to solve everything in 2 years, but we'll see what comes of everything. So.
Yeah, man, hold on, let me jump in here.
I had to throw this. I know it's a celebration. I just sunshine. Ain't all gonna be great.
Talking about Bob Chapek, he didn't, get dealt the best hand, but it don't matter. Just like Eman said on Friday, all he had to come in and say is, guys, you're doing great. Keep on doing what you're doing. But no, he want to come in and reinvent the wheel and it just doesn't just throw all of the animated stuff on Disney Plus. You're not making any money. You're not. Like, before streaming happened, you had a movie in theaters for 60 days, 9 months. And what do you make any money after that? No, you probably make you get a few thousand users across the country, across the world that will pay $20, $25 or $30 for the DVD, the Blu-ray, the 4K disc. But okay, $30, you divide that by 3, that's $10 a month. But no, now that you have this Disney Plus streaming thing, not only can you make money in theaters, but you can continue to get a monthly subscription from the consumers month after month after month after month. And that just seems like common sense. But Bob Chapek didn't want to do that. He just wants to throw everything on Disney Plus first, and you miss those hundreds of millions of dollars that you could be making at the theater. It makes no sense. Nobody would have made this mistake that he did right here with what's her name? Scarlett Johansson with Black Widow. That was dumb. Kevin Feige begged him, please do not put this on streaming, and they lost all that. They lost all the money from the box office. Plus, they embarrassed the company with the lawsuit, and she even got like another $10 or $20 million more than what she initially asked for. But he wanted to be stupid, and I can go down a list of just random things that he did that was ridiculous in my opinion. Right. But I don't want to be beating a dead horse. But let me
Larry, though. I have a question. I got a rebuttal for you, Brandon. Before we get to Larry, question for you, Brandon. Who put Bob Chapek in position?
Bob Iger did.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
He's made some decisions on his own that wasn't the greatest, and Chapek being one of them.
Yeah, but you know, you don't think that you're going to give the keys to the kingdom to somebody and they're going to just shit on your crap on your hand. That's the last thing you expect. You know, it's just like it was a easy 2+2 layup. But he
but here's the thing though.
Chapek caught the ball under the net instead of laying it up. Wants to dribble back past the half court and launch it across the hoping, hey, I wanted a more dramatic ending. But go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
Well, no, here's the thing, right? And I have to give Chapek credit for this, and you know, Elliot mentioned earlier, is that he took over at a period that was very challenging, not just for him, but for all CEOs. But COVID hit. Who knows what would happen? Who knows what Chapek would have done if he was taking over today? Who knows what that would look like in this landscape? But there are a lot of businesses, a lot of companies that did not survive the pandemic. Their company is dependent upon putting butts in seats or people in places, and somehow Disney was able to make it survive and thrive during that period. And a lot of that has to do with Bob Chapek. I mean, let's not forget they had all of their theme parks around the world shut down. Their cruise lines were shut down. Their private islands were shut down. The movie theaters were shut down. And when they opened back up, they were opening to 25 and 50% capacity. He was not in a position to say, we're going to try and do something else. He was like, this is what we have. We have Disney Plus. We need to keep our audience. We need to keep the eyes on Disney. Even if I look at Black Widow as a loss leader. That's what I look at Black Widow as. It's just like if you go buy an Amazon tablet. The Amazon tablets, you can buy one for $25, $35, $50. Those tablets probably should cost you $200, $300. But Amazon uses them as a loss leader because they know once you buy those tablets, you're going to be in their ecosystem. You're going to get their services. You're going to buy products from their company. It's a loss leader. And I think Bob Chapek looked at it that way, and he kept that company going. Now, has he handled things maybe the best after things started to reopen? Maybe not, but he took that company to a very, very difficult time that a lot of other CEOs could not successfully navigate and failed, and he somehow managed it. So I'm not going to crap on the dude completely. He didn't do the best job, but he surely didn't do the worst.
I got you. Elliot, was you about to say something else?
No, I was agreeing with a lot of what Larry said. It's just a hard card to be dealt. And shout out to Bob Iger. He obviously he didn't see the pandemic happening, but he got out of there in perfect time. Like, I'm not about to mess up my legacy. Let me do this. And he came back after this everything is. So I don't know. Maybe he has a fortune teller or a crystal ball that told him to get out of the game before it was too late. So shout out to whoever made that call.
You know what? Here's one thing that does worry me, though, is that Disney has always had, I've always felt Disney's been a place that's been very welcoming to everyone across the board, even people who aren't rich. And I feel like Disney's getting to a place now where they're starting to price people out of their services and their experience. Because when you look at the theme parks prices have gone up astronomically. I think somewhere, I think like since like pre-pandemic, like not too long before pre-pandemic to now, like the prices have gone up like 40% or something ridiculous like that. I mean, now a single day pass at Disneyland is like $189. Now, I don't know about you, but for most people, that's not doable, especially if you have like a family of 4. You're talking about after taxes in California and Florida, you're talking about over $800 to walk through the door. Most people don't have that kind of money. And now they're talking about raising prices on Disney Plus to $10 a month. That's going to be like that for me. That will be my second most expensive streaming service, right behind Netflix. And Netflix gives me infinitely more value than Disney Plus. I show up and watch Disney Plus when there is a new Marvel joint on there, or maybe a Star Wars joint, and that's it. I don't go on there and randomly search and find cool stuff. I know what I want to watch when I go to Disney Plus, and I watch it and I leave. I go to Netflix and scroll through and find all kinds of cool stuff. So I think once you start raising those prices too much, people are going to start thinking, is this something that I want? Do I need to keep this, or maybe I'll just skip it?
Right on. What do y'all think about this right here? With the exit of Bob Chapek, it's a rumor that Kathleen Kennedy, the person over Star Wars, is going to be exiting too. I hope this happens because she ruined Star Wars, in my opinion. Even Disney came out and admitted that they did not have a plan with this new sequel trilogy, that they were playing it by ear as they went along, and we see the result of that. So, Elliot, I'm coming to you first, man. How do you feel about this right here? Do you want to see Kathleen Kennedy stay or leave if this is true?
Well, I don't think it's true because going back to Bob Iger, he was the one that hired her in the position when they bought Disney or Star Wars. He brought her in. So, I mean, this is his hire. So I don't think he would want to come back and then fire it. There's a lot of optics with that. I'm firing a woman and all. I don't think that's one of his first things he's going to do is fire Kathleen Kennedy, the person he hired,
Really?
7 years ago. Yeah, I don't think he would do that. That's his person that he chose to have in that position. And to be fair, the whole Kathleen Kennedy conversation is a lot of layers to it. There has been a lot of mistakes, especially for the films. But I mean, I've always been a fan of TV Star Wars, which I think they're somewhat kind of falling back on. But I think that they want to get back to the Mandalorian and Ahsoka and all those shows. They'll get back to thriving. But yeah, I don't think they just renewed her contract too last year, so I don't think that that's going to be happening anytime soon. So,
what about replacing her with J.J. Abrams?
No.
Larry, you want her to stay or you want her to?
I have no feelings about her, man. I've been okay. I've been okay with the Star Wars TV shows. I feel like the movies, like, where are they?
That's the thing.
Where are they? When are we gonna get some more? Like, I have a niece that has somehow found herself absolutely enthralled with Star Wars, and she doesn't really watch the movies. She's watched some of them, but she hasn't had, like, since she's just gotten old enough to really start watching this stuff, there hasn't really been any movies for her, like new ones for her to get excited about at all, really. So it's like the series are great. I'm glad she's watching them. She loves Clone Wars. She wants to watch Andor. She is excited to watch Rogue One, but like, where's the new movies at so that she can have that big screen experience? And
on. In addition to that, Disney exec and Bob Chapek confident Arthur Bochner is next to exit, on top of Kareem Daniel, this brother right here, who a lot of people said was nice, but he's the banker that was put in charge of distribution, and I know that Kevin Feige wasn't happy about that.
So he's the one that was cooking the books.
Maybe. And AMC CEO Adam Aaron extols a return of Bob Iger to Disney as well. And just last thing, it like this was so shocking to everybody, it's that stabbed at Disney, that they thought it was a joke. They thought their server got hacked. But once they realized it was real, that, it was just a big sigh of relief that came over everybody, that everything was just going to be okay. And that's crazy to me. But Elliot, do you have any more commentary on, Adam Aaron and Kareem Daniel and the other executives that's leaving out the door, Arthur Bochner, or do you not really, care about that?
No, I mean, it's for the creative side of it, as you just kind of alluded to, be as far as the marketing department was over Kevin Feige, which wasn't a thing that he hasn't had to deal with since Perlmutter. So I love that now. Because if y'all remember during Doctor Strange and a couple other red carpets, he said, I hated the fact that they showed certain things in the trailer that gave away elements of the film. So the fact that marketing is now kind of Kevin's above that, it makes me kind of excited now. He can, and not even just Kevin, just all the other, Disney, Pixar. I know they have a film now, Strange Worlds, I think is the name of it, that is bombing at the box office, and I've heard people that saw it say it was a really good film, but unfortunately the marketing was not there for it. And plus now people are getting so used to watching Disney films, which, going back to Chapek, kind of create that narrative of like animated movies are now Disney Plus exclusive. So a lot of people might have even knew it was in theaters. So I'm glad that the marketing department can get a reshuffle, and the creators have more power than the marketing team. So I like that.
Larry, where you at?
I have a little personal insight on this, not with Disney, but I used to work for the Smithsonian Channel, and I used to be a web producer. So I would create original content for the web, and I would cut trailers. And there was always a battle between the production side, the content side that was actually creating the content and was responsible for what was going into the programs, to the marketing side and the web side that was on that was in a different office in New York that always wanted to put up certain things, and the production side was always like, no, you know, don't put that, put this. And then, you know, as someone who was actually cutting this, I was always getting caught in the middle because my direct report, you know, the person I was directly reporting to was always telling me, this is what you're cutting. And then they would get it. They were like, we don't like it, redo it. And so I personally, I think those departments probably should be meshed in. Like some of it should be meshed into one, because it's too much of a conflict when you have one group saying, we need this, we want that, this is what's exciting about the film. And they're like, yeah, but you can't show it because then you give too much away, you know? And then they know what's up. People aren't as excited to see it. They're like, I know what's going to happen. They don't want to see it. So you have to tease it without giving it away, you know?
Right on.
So maybe they should hire some strippers to teach them, because they're good at teasing. You know, that's what their job is. I mean, I say that facetiously, but there are people whose job is to the art of teasing, and maybe they need to, you know, learn a couple of tricks from some other trades.
And I'll just say to add just one more thing about marketing. I mean, they got not that Ryan Reynolds made up all the Deadpool marketing, but that whole strategy that they had with his films, that some of the best marketing I've ever seen for any film franchise comes from Deadpool. So luckily they have an employee that has his hand in how to market things. So maybe they'll take some lessons from how Deadpool is produced and market it to the audience.
You know, and he seems like he actually enjoys being Deadpool.
Yes, very much.
And I think that's one thing that's important, is that if someone enjoys it, I think you're much more likely going to get them to do those types of promotions. Mm-hmm. And for people who maybe have some sour feelings about their experience playing a role, or they just want to move on to something else, I don't think you're likely going to get them to do that. And so I think it's important to find people that are genuinely interested in the work that they're doing and the roles that they're playing, so that you can have those experiences. Because I agree. I think Deadpool, those little clips that you see here and there, they are just freaking phenomenal.
Incredible. Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Well, and last thing, guys, this week, you know, Bob Iger is holding an employee and cast member town hall to discuss the future of Disney. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that room to hear everything that's going to be discussed, because again, I'm just super happy about this. But Elliot, Larry, Elliot, I want to thank you for your commentary on this right here. I'm excited, and I think that Disney is going to be great, and even more. Phase 5 may possibly be the best phase of the whole MCU, and I am mother freaking ready for that.
I want to ask you, B, what kind of leaks do you think are going to come out after this this cast and employee meeting?
I have no idea. I'm just hoping for good news. You know, I just doubt that it can be bad. You know, so who knows? What you think?
I'm more than anything, I'm just, because as you talked about the very top, B, the fact that it happened so swiftly and so quickly, it makes you think that there was some board meeting, emergency fourth quarter call that really got him out of this door. So that's what I'm looking forward to hearing about. Like, what exactly was it? What move was it that he recently made that got him out of that seat? Is what I'm looking forward to hearing.
Yeah,
me too, man. Me too. But as we're closing out, I see that we have 131 people watching right now, and we have how many thumbs up?
B, don't forget about Dane C. He sent a couple of super chats, and
I'm tripping. I got them. Thank you, sir. I have them saved right here too. Thank you, Larry. You coming through to save the day. My fault, Dane C. Hold on, let's do it like this.
What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside.
Dane C, $2. Bob blew $70 billion on Fox. They haven't re-upped. Yeah, that's that is spend that much. That's crazy. I know there was rumors talking about Apple may buy. I just don't see that. They can buy them easily, you know, just a fart in the wind, but I don't see that happening.
About buying Fox or buying Disney?
They're buying Disney. My bad. Buying Disney.
I don't think they can afford to buy Disney, man.
Oh, hold on. Dang, another $2. I read Disney Plus hasn't made a profit. I don't know. I know they was at a loss for something, but I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much and pass around false information. But Dane C, again, thank you so much for this. For the $2 super chat. I really, really do appreciate it. Larry, Do you know how much Apple is worth?
I do. They're worth a lot, no doubt. But Apple, I'm not sure if they're liquid enough to be able to afford to buy Disney like that. Not to mention, Apple's having their own set of problems right now because Apple is so heavily dependent upon China to, to produce their products. And China is killing them with these zero COVID lockdowns and everything else. You can't even buy an iPhone 14 Pro or 14 Pro Max, and those are their two most popular phones. You can't even buy them; they're not available anywhere because their production has been, just at a snail's crawl because of all the lockdowns. And I think that China, I think that Apple recognizes this to a certain extent. Well, I think they know they recognize it, that they're going to have to move, and they have been slowly sort of inching their way into other places to move production out of China. But that's going to take a long time, and it's going to take a lot of money, and I think Apple's going to have its own set of issues it needs to deal with besides trying to buy Disney.
Right on. Well, guys, again, we would love to hear your commentary. So please let us know what you think down below in that comment section in the chat. And if you're watching this via live or on the replay, there's a link down to this in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure.
I'll tell you what I would like to see, B. I would like to see like a strategic partnership with them where maybe instead of buying Disney outright, maybe they buy Disney Plus, and Disney Plus can then be just preloaded onto all Apple devices.
Yeah.
Everything, your phone, your tablets, your computers. It's just like how you have iMessage on your phone when you boot it up, you get Disney Plus, and it includes all the Disney stuff plus all the Apple Plus content on there. I wouldn't mind seeing that, especially if they give you some sort of discount for being an Apple user.
Right.
I don't know about that. But we'll
That's because you're an Android user.
He must be an Android user over here, Larry.
I am an Android user. I see that we got another super chat. We're gonna move on from that. Oh, yeah, Marcy X, thank you so much, man. And this is the dub. So let me. I gotta switch the thing. Here we go. Hold on. Let me and 1 second. I gotta do it right. I gotta change this background.
I like her thumbnail. Those eyes are intense.
Yes, they are very intense. Here we go. Marcy, thank you so much for the $19.99 super chat. Big Papa Iger is preparing Disney for the Apple merger and found out Bob Paycheck was cooking the books. You are most likely right, but that would be hilarious. But Marcy, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it.